few minutes. So Corey's tracking that north-northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour, continuing to get these warnings in on my watch, which you can do. All you have to do is download our First Alert Weather app for free, and you'll get these warnings immediately. Into Branford at 342, Branford High School neighborhood at 342, but again, it's President's Day, so in many cases, not in session today. Wellborn at 410, Southampton Elementary School neighborhood at 422, and into White Springs at 422. It would appear that this will stay just west of Lake City, but it's going to be darn close. So people in Lake City, stay up to date with all the latest on this possible tornado now headed into western Columbia. I don't like the looks of this, Corey. When they come off the Gulf like this, and it's very warm and humid and unstable like it is today, I have seen many times in my years here, these produce tornadoes.
This looks pretty ominous, too, and we'll have to watch it close, especially for Lake City concerning. If it tries to take a little bit of a turn to the right,
good point.
Sometimes if you get a tornado to develop, it can actually slow down and take a little bit of a turn. Right now, it appears to be moving well to the west of Lake City, but Lake City, part of you, especially on the west and southwest side, you are included in this tornado warning. Lake City proper, downtown Lake City, US 90, US 41, and US 441, not technically in the warning box, but you're next up. So you got to be thinking about your place of safety and what you're going to do if you are under this tornado warning. We're getting word from the people in the booth, the control room, my producer, that there are no reports of damage at this time. This is still having to lift out of, Mike, is this Suwannee County, Hamilton County?
Yes. Yeah, so it's technically still not in Columbia County, but it will be very soon, as you can see here as it moves rapidly to the northeast.
Looks of it very suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the tornado warning now, where you see the red area that goes to Highway 41 in Columbia County, just east of Lake City, stays north and northwest of Fort White.
Fort White.
By a little bit, far enough that this should not be a concern. But boy, there's a pretty well-defined circulation here, about ready to cross, and it looks stronger than when the warning.
So this is from Jacksonville, but this wind, this wind is high. I'm actually going to see how fast that is.
We're going to put the winds on here. It's crossing Highway 27.
There's a 94
miles per hour, folks. Now, admittedly, that's not right at the ground. We're not shooting this storm right at the ground because the beam of the radar is going out at this point about 60 miles from home, so to speak, which is the international airport. But that's significant. That's a strong circulation, and if nothing else, likely producing high winds and possibly a tornado now as it moves into western Columbia County. There's Highway 247.
This may parallel 247.
It's going to, yeah, exactly. It's paralleling 247 right now, staying a little bit to the west of Interstate 75. So that's our tornado warning for western portions of Columbia County. Also, neighboring Gilchrist and Suwannee County, which some people with antennas there can get us, although technically not part of our viewing area.
And that's where the storm is now. It's in Gilchrist and Suwannee. About to move into Columbia. Let's go to Putnam and St. John's, Mike.
We just had a warning issue. No surprise. We've been watching this storm carefully. This is an intense storm. This could go tornado too at any time. Wow, that's really intensified. Just in the last 5 minutes. So a severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for Putnam, southeastern Clay, and much of central St. Johns County, near and west of Interstate 95. Potential for large hail with this cell, high winds, very heavy rain, obviously, crossing Highway 17, rolling through Bostwick. Looks like it stays a little north of Palatka. Let's go up a little bit more, Corey. I can't. Yeah, the most intense part looks like it'll stay just north and northwest of Palatka. Let's track this one. It's headed to the northeast, kind of a tough one to track because it's elongated and traveling in the same direction. When they're catty corner like that and traveling in the same direction to the northeast, it's a little more challenging. I think a little higher, Corey. There you go. So into Durban at 3:52 in just 7 minutes. The road Gulf Village at 3:55. Nocatee at 4:09. Heads up Nocatee. Ponte Vedra at 4:22, and Jack's Beach heads up 4:26, where it's foggy right now, by the way, because the sea breeze has pushed in a little bit, and sea fog has formed at the coast. We've got everything going today. Tornadoes, potentially, severe weather, sunshine, fog, temperatures in the 80s. Other places are in the 50s and 60s, and that's helping to fuel these storms. I'm real curious about the wind in this storm right now, Corey. And there's Jack's Beach right now. This is Jack's Beach, First Alert Skycam Network, where the visibility is near zero in sea fog. And if you live anywhere inland a little ways, you're saying, what in the world? Because first of all, you're probably not getting a storm, or you may not be, and it's sunny. And then you've got this, not that, it's almost zero visibility. You just barely make out the trees in Jack's Beach. Riverside, show you the difference. The first alert Skycam in Riverside was sunny just a few minutes ago, but now we're getting
clouding up.
The clouds coming in from the south with those storms that are rolling in. So again, we've got a lot of weather going on now. We'll be on at least through 4:15 wall to wall now because of severe weather that could do considerable damage. A tornado warning in effect for western and southwestern portions of Columbia County. Actually, I would say that tornado actually is Lafayette County is where that is coming out of, maybe in Gilchrist County. Then, oh boy, that's really started to pick up in its reflectivity. It's heavy rain and hail now in western parts of Columbia County, Corey. That's intensifying.
Looks like a very intense storm, Mike. And
Yeah.
I'm going to push in a little closer here. This is US 27, State Road 137, State Road 247. This is west of I-75. There in Suwannee County. This is the county line. Looks like it is moving completely into Suwannee County now, but this is the hook echo, and
Right.
Just kind of a weather term there, but it's just a little finger where that's the dangerous part of the storm. If a tornado forms, that's where it's going to be, and that's the part that we track, and we time it out and tell you where exactly it is going to be in time. There is a ton of lightning around
Yeah.
it too.
It's also
So-
an indicator of an especially intense storm.
Yeah, this has all the signs, Mike. I'm going to go back to the velocity here.
Let's take a look at that velocity. Then I'm going to look at the velocity in Putnam County, too,
Yes.
for which we're. And there's the circulation. It's just crossed Highway 129. The National Weather Service has just updated the tornado warning. Can you see if they've got confirmation of tornado on the ground with this? Corey, moving right along Highway 49 and 247 here in the next few minutes, western portions of Columbia County. Looks like a second possible. It looks like a twin circulation almost there, Corey. That's really interesting.
We're also looking up really, a little bit high. We're not as high as looking from Jacksonville. So sometimes,
Actually, we could put Moody on there, Corey.
well, this is Moody.
Oh, this is
yes,
Moody.
We're,
Okay,
we're
this is
looking
Moody.
from
All right.
Valdosta.
Okay, very good. That
the Air
helps.
Force
That's
Base.
good.
Yeah, so we're looking basically straight south. And we don't have anything intense, at least for right now. The other stuff we look at with First Alert Doppler HD, the rain that we typically show you, it looks concerning. There's also a lot of lightning with this as well. This is moving to State Road 49 this is Suwannee County, State Road 247, the center of the circulation here. We're looking for the bright green and the bright red. And we don't have the bright red, but we have the bright green. So there is a decent amount of wind coming up into it. And Mike, we're actually getting a little bit of red in here. You just saw the pixels move there. That's the updated image. And some wind maybe on the back. I wonder if that's some false echo, the term
It might be
escapes me, but
because of the beam, there could be
yeah.
some weird radar beam. There could be some weird things happening on the backside there. So, but that's an intense storm moving into western Columbia County. Heads up, and if you live in Lake City and you have to head west for any reason anytime soon, I would just delay that trip. Remember, in a tornado warning, stay in the lowest part of the building that you're in, underneath something sturdy, away from windows, automobile homes, and do not get into an automobile. What Corey's doing now is looking at what we call the coefficient correlation, CC, and what we're trying to find is debris here. That looks kind of messy to me.
Yeah,
Corey.
we're looking for the blue, and we don't really have it. So that's at least a positive sign right now.
In other words, we're not seeing debris. We don't think we're seeing debris. We can't be for sure, but we don't believe we're seeing debris.
You can never look at radar and say 100% this is what's going on, whether it's a tornado, hail, what have you. Speaking of hail,
that's a good one to check.
Let's check out hail. Okay, it looks like we're getting a little bit of a core of hail. And this is a little behind, so whenever we move away from just the traditional or typical rain that we show you, sometimes there's a little bit of a delay with those.
Hail. With the hail markers, there's a delay.
Yeah, so this technically should be a little bit to the east of, this is US 129. This is the county line between Columbia and Suwannee County, just for some reference, State Road 247, US 129, US 27. The circulation, I believe, is east of 129.
That's
right now,
correct.
Mike.
It is east of 129. It's going to come up there right at 247. And is that a highway marker there? I assume it is. 247, there's a cross interchange 129.
That's 129 and State Road 49.
Yeah, okay. All right, very good. Let's take a look at the wind. Let's put on Jacksonville wind. I'm very curious about that Putnam County cell as far as what we're seeing for wind on that. So let's switch radar sites. And yeah, that thing looks suspicious to me. In
heavy storms.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, powerful storms. And we're seeing them move again north-northeast, so a little west of the western part of this warning area is going to be most impacted. Another cell's just gone up near Nocatee, but there's some wind at the very least. They're in northern Putnam County, and boy,
we may get a tornado warning.
We may get a tornado
soon.
warning on this. Yeah, I agree.
So heads up, West
just
River
north
Road,
of Palatka,
Palatka,
Highway 17 to
north
Bostwick.
of Hastings,
right.
State Road 13, St.
Yeah.
Johns County.
Yeah, right along the St. Johns River, a little west. Yeah, that's very suspicious. That may be a circulation right there.
Only tornado warning now is for Columbia County, but
we may
this
have
storm
one
looks
issued.
like
What
it
is
could
that
produce.
to the north, Corey, with the red and the green? Is that just outflow, you think, probably, or is that
it's
a second circulation?
It's kind of right in between of these two cores. So we have
you could have a second circulation.
Yeah, and it's kind of in the middle there. So yeah, that would be
folks, I would say
dangerous.
At least we have 50 to 60 mile an hour winds at the ground here, maybe higher.
This is just east of 17, so this is basically over the river, very near the county line between.
Yeah, just west of the river.
Just west of the river.
Right. So anywhere from Putnam to Bostwick, southeastern Clay County, just south of Green Cove Springs, heads up. We have a severe thunderstorm, I would say certainly, and possibly circulations here that may try to go tornadic at any time.
And I'm going to time both of these wind groups here.
We do have Storm Tracker in that area, it looks like to me. Is that in St. Johns County? Can the producer confirm for me if the Storm Tracker is in?
That's on 207.
Okay, 207. 207 headed toward Palatka, so they'll be going through the core of this cell soon. So this is First Alert Storm Tracker right now. And you can see it's kind of in a mix of sun and clouds. There's been some rain. See, it's wet there on the pavement. So he's headed westbound on 207, I would have to think, based on looking at this. Probably not far from Elkton, is my thinking. Not coming up on Spuds. Yep, the potatoes are getting watered a lot recently. So this will be an interesting camera to watch. Let's go to radar and show Highway 207, Corey, and we can kind of orient viewers with where he is to First Alert Doppler HD. So we go back to First Alert Doppler HD.
We've got a bit of a hook developing here too, Mike. I'm going to swap it up here and show you. There it is.
Near Palatka?
Just north of Palatka.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to squeeze it back here, and there's 207.
So he actually may end up south of the cell as fast as it's moving. Yeah, in fact, if you can tell First Alert Storm Tracker to head north on Highway 13 when they get to that interchange, and it won't be too long. They're going to hang a right. They'll go north on Highway 13 and intersect this storm as it's moving up through St. Johns and Clay County. Corey's mentioning it appears to be a hook echo forming on the southern end. There may be, there is rotation here. The question is how significant and is it going to reach the ground? And enough so that a tornado warning would be issued. It's quite possible. It's just north of Palatka. Those are the winds in there at about 50 miles per hour. And on the backside, it is weak. It doesn't look all that strong based on those values, but there could be an attempt at a tornado forming here. Severe thunderstorms can and occasionally do produce tornadoes with little or no advance warning. Certainly, I would be concerned about high winds, hail. Let's check out the hail on this too, the hail indicator, Corey. I don't think we've checked this cell for hail. Some small hail, possibly pea-sized, very small hail indicated at this point. I would say wind would be the greatest concern with a storm like this, moving northeast at some 45 miles per hour. The northern edge of that warning is the World Gulf Village, but it will likely be extended into southeast Duval and northern St. Johns County to include Highway 210 area, which is just south of 210, and then up through Nocatee, Bayard, Greenland, to 295, I-95 interchange there. If you have travel plans south out of Jacksonville on I-95 anytime real soon, I just give it a few minutes. Let this storm move on by and get out of the way. But that's a powerful looking storm, Corey, as it heads northeast. I'm going to let you take over for a couple of minutes. I'm going to run into the radio booth for a second. But we've got two severe cells to track, one moving from Putnam into Clay and St. Johns County, and a potentially tornadic storm, which we need to get back to also, moving into western Columbia County. Corey, take it away.
So I'll pick it up from here, Mike. Tornado warning with a very ominous cell here. This is just west of the Columbia County line in Suwannee County. The tornadic part of the storm is not in Columbia County yet. Lake City, most of you are not under this tornado warning, but this storm is headed directly toward Lake City. You can see the track here. If it's going to move just a little bit due west of Lake City, but very near the intersection of US 75 and Highway 90, and then I-10 is covered up by the box here. This is until 4:15. This looks like a pretty serious storm. We got a lot of lightning with this as well. And you see the kind of the curl there where it looks like my finger. That's a hook echo. This is a classic radar structure storm when it comes to potential tornadic activity. So we're going to look from the radar. This is up in Valdosta at Moody Air Force Base, and a very similar story here. This is paralleling State Road 247, very near the Suwannee and Columbia County line. So Lake City, heads up, if you know anybody along State Road 247, southwest of Lake City, potentially tornadic storm is moving your way. And an update on the wind here. This may be the best looking wind that we've seen here today. Just to give you an idea of the wind speeds here, when we look at the blue, that's up to about 70 miles per hour. Granted, the radar beam is looking up a little bit in the atmosphere, so that's not down to the ground, but we could still be seeing winds up to about 50 or 60 miles per hour all the way down to the ground. And we want the green to get really bright and be right next to really bright red. We don't have the bright red now, but we're actually getting some pixels of red in here. So this shows the signs of a developing tornado, or a storm that could certainly drop a tornado at any time. Very near the Suwannee and Columbia County line at State Road 247. Timing out this area of the storm, it's moving north-northeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. And Mike, this looks like it's going to move very near Lake City. I believe
Right.
Lake City is going to be included in another tornado warning. So
it's going to be real close.
You need to take your tornado
Maybe
precautions
slightly
right
west,
now.
but uncomfortably so if west.
For sure.
I would still take tornado precautions, which I think is what you just said. So.
Yeah, heads up Lake City. You're not in the tornado warning now. This is Fellowship Church, 402. LakeCityWeather.com neighborhood at 403. Lake Lana, hope I'm pronouncing that right, at 409. Then Lacey Mark at 417. Just very close to Lake City, Mike. Like you said, uncomfortably so. Take your tornado precautions if you're in Lake City. You're not under a tornado warning yet. This is headed your way.
And in about 20 to 30 minutes, crossing I-75, I-10 interchange, which obviously is a busy interstate. So be aware there. And if you know friends that are traveling or anybody in this area, give them a heads up. So we've got this severe thunderstorm. First Alert Storm Tracker is further to the east, with a severe thunderstorm moving through parts of Putnam, Clay, and St. Johns County. And that's for this storm that is moving rapidly northeastbound. A lot of lightning, very heavy rain, and perhaps high winds, and an isolated tornado could form at any time. That severe thunderstorm warning will likely be extended to the north and northeast here in pretty short order.
Until 4:30.
Till 4:30. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the wind in this one. And while we are, let's go to the First Alert Storm Tracker, who's just coming out of a bunch of trees here, headed northbound. That does not look to me like Highway 13, but it might be. So let's take a look at First Alert Storm Tracker. They've just come out of the trees here that were surrounding the road here. And then we'll go to First Alert Storm Tracker and get a good bird's eye view looking straight north into this storm. This is the severe storm. First Alert Storm Tracker headed north through far western St. Johns County, and we'll be intersecting this cell in pretty short order as they continue north toward the storm, in a storm that may be producing damaging winds right now. So we'll continue to keep a close eye with First Alert Storm Tracker, obviously. Orange Park might be getting a pretty good view looking south and east on our First Alert Skycam network, Corey, as well. So let's go back to First Alert Doppler HD.
It's 4 o'clock. Watching Action News Jax at 4 o'clock on Fox 30. Obviously, are we on both CBS 47 and Fox 30 with this?
I'm pretty sure we are. So we would typically on Fox 30 Action News Jax be starting our newscast. John and Tanika standing by. Will be helping out here over the next few minutes, and then we'll get to a full newscast, or what top news stories, when and if the dangerous storms have passed. CBS 47 Action News Jax, we stay on the air because of a tornado warning that is currently in effect for western Columbia County, and also a dangerous storm headed from Putnam through southeastern Clay into St. Johns County. The core of this storm is going to move right over the World Golf Village, it looks like to me. me, and just a little north and northwest of the outlet malls on Highway 16. And they still get rain in those areas, but the core of this potentially severe cell will be going right over the World Gulf Village into Nocatee, in fact, at 405. I would expect to see this warning expanded shortly. Corey to the north. St. Augustine outlets at 410, South Ponte Vedra Beach at 422, Casacola at 429, and St. Augustine Airport at 436. So crossing Phillips Highway and US 1 in St. Johns County.
And the wind is a little behind those times. So the gusty winds are going to move in a little after that. The
Right.
times we're giving you there when the rain moves in, that's the leading edge of like the moderate rain. There will be some sprinkles or some light
Right.
rain just ahead of that, and then the heavy rain moves in.
Yeah, you'll be able to hear the rumbles of thunder. There's a lot of lightning with this, so you'll hear the rumbles of thunder off in the distance, and then the downpour, and then the potential for damaging winds, maybe some power outages. We haven't looked at the wind at this a whole lot recently, so let's take a look at the wind, Corey. We still have that interesting feature kind of in the middle there, and
This is looking pretty bright.
yeah, I don't like the southern end of that. Again, we have a cell that's showing signs of rotation. If it gets any stronger, I would suspect the tornado warning will be issued here shortly. It's between Highway 17 and Highway 13. The storm tracker's headed right here. In fact, let's just quickly take the radar imagery off and get people oriented, Corey, with the St. Johns River. That'll help out, I think. But there you see Palmetto Bluff Road, West River Road. It's moving right between it, and there's the St. Johns River. So over here is St. Johns County. And you would have Elkton and Burt Floyd Road and Highway 13 and Hastings, which is where the First Alert Storm Tracker's headed. And then there's the St. Johns River. And then just west of there, you have Tecoy, I believe, yeah, there's Tecoy Road, Palmetto Bluff Road, County Road 209, and then your north would be to Green Cove Springs. And on the other side over here, you would have Piccolata, Switzerland would be areas that will be closely monitored. West St. Augustine, World Gulf Village, west of St. Augustine, Passetti Road. There's Highway 13 again, where Storm Tracker's heading. And there's the northern edge of the warning right now. Here's the World Gulf Village at I-95, International Gulf Parkway. Of course, they're going to get hit hard in the next few minutes. Speaking of which, First Alert Storm Tracker's in heavy rain now. So let's take a look at the First Alert Storm Tracker real quick. They are in, I believe, if you can confirm with me in the booth, but I'm certain they are in St. Johns County, and I guess it's Highway 13. There was a flash of lightning. If we can pull up First Alert Storm Tracker, you'll be able to see the storm as it's moving north-northeast. There's storm tracker now in the heavy rain. See, folks have their headlights on. Good idea on a day like today. You're going to have to slow down. And keep in mind, these are moving 45 miles per hour. So while in the metro area, you're saying, what storms? And there hasn't been anything. This changes very quickly. And this will move up across southern and southeastern Duval County within the next few minutes. Here's the potentially tornadic cell now crossing into Columbia County. It would appear that that hook is going to stay just west of Lake City, Corey, but uncomfortably close.
Paralleling 247. This is
Exactly.
it's close.
It's getting ready to cross 247, it looks like, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, real close. I see it's a little northeast, southwest oriented, so it'll be real close. That hook echo, that circulation is just slightly north of the highway, perhaps. And yeah, that's going to be close for Lake City. West Lake City, under the gun here for this possible tornado. And even if it doesn't contain a tornado, it likely has high winds. But looking at the structure of the cell and where the lightning is, and that circulation looks like it's tightened up.
This is classic.
Yeah, this
is classic.
If it isn't tornadoing, it's darn close. It's too close for comfort. Let's go with that. And we have an update on it. Is that a new tornado warning or just an update?
This is a new tornado warning for Putnam and St. Johns County.
That's the one we were concerned about.
So we were talking about that about 5 minutes ago.
And we've got Storm Tracker on this cell. So now, folks, this
St.
is
Augustine.
Just in. Tornado warning does include St. Augustine. Interesting. We have twin circulations, it looks like to me, with the primary one to the south. 104.5 WOKV radio has not joined us yet, it doesn't look like, but they will likely soon when a tornado warning has been issued for an area that's this close to Jacksonville. But this is the cell that we've been concerned about, and 10, 15 minutes ago, I think we gave the heads up on this circulation at least, Corey,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we've upped the ante now in northeastern Florida, folks. If you live in Butler Beach, Crescent Beach, St. Augustine Beach, take cover immediately. I would personally include the World Gulf Village. I'm not trying to one-up anybody here, Corey, but I don't like the looks of this cell, and they've had a tendency to move more north than east today.
State Road 16 is like right on the cutoff.
Right.
But if it continues the trend that we've been seeing, which is a little more north than northeast, then yes, World Gulf Village, you got to take this seriously as well.
That's too close for me to call off the dogs there. Highway 16 and I-95, the outlet malls are included in the tornado warning. technically Hastings and Elkton. That's interesting. I haven't seen it turn right. It could do the opposite. It could turn to the right as well, but we haven't seen evidence of that yet. And First Alert Storm Tracker is in this storm right now. So that's there they are. They're up on they're on Highway 13. They're not near Palatka, you guys. I don't think. I'd be awfully surprised if they're near
A lot
Palatka.
of cars on I-95 there, Mike. You see the First Alert traffic camera network.
Right.
That's a little concerning.
Yeah, that's a lot of traffic.
A
It's way
lot of
backed
traffic.
up.
That's International Golf Parkway and I-95.
Okay.
Now's not the time to head
south.
Head south.
Exactly.
If you're in
That's a good
Jacksonville.
point. And now 104.5 WOKV has joined us on radio too. So you'll hear us do a little radio speak once in a while. And what I mean by that is if people in the cars and the radios aren't watching with us here, so I have to be more specific about highways and interstates. So let's zoom on in.
Let's track this first.
Lots to show here. Yeah, let's track it and then zoom into street level, Corey, and we'll throw on a bunch of streets and landmarks that people will recognize. Possible tornadoes headed into Federal Point right now. Molasses Junction at 418, which is western St. Johns County. Bakersville, which is the area that was under a tornado warning yesterday and had a tornado touch down, 422. St. Augustine Outlets, I mentioned that, 430 straight up, so in 23 minutes. St. Augustine Airport at 441. That's the International Golf Parkway on the right-hand side of the screen, upper right-hand corner. And look how bad the traffic is. My guess is because it's raining so heavily that's why it's slowed down so much. But I would just delay your plans to travel for a little while if you're headed south on I-95. You guys in the control room, can we confirm where fast is? Because I'm almost certain First Alert Storm Tracker is not on 13 near Palatka, but I could be wrong. Let's double check that. And they do need to be headed northbound. And then here's the cell on First Alert Doppler HD that has a possible tornado moving to the northeast. And we are on street level mapping now. County Road 13A, which is Storm Tracker should be real close to this, I would think, at this point.
This is very near the tornado confirmed yesterday, Mike.
Right, it is. That's exactly right. Yeah, very close to the same area that was hit so hard yesterday. So here's County Road 214. There's Highway 13 on the left-hand side. First Alert Storm Tracker is going very near that. Can I get confirmation? I may have turned down my... There it is. Okay, Riverdale. Thank you. Okay, very good. Oh, and it is State Road 13. So we were right, but they're further north than we were thinking. Riverdale is St. Johns County, off the top of my head. Is that correct? Can anybody? Yep, it is. Okay, and look how bad the visibility is there. You guys are talking to the Storm Tracker. Let's zoom in. I want to make sure we got to keep Storm Tracker safe. I don't want them too close to that circulation. They're going to be awfully close here, Corey, I think, to that circulation.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Do we want?
I think they need to get north.
So let's. I don't want to put our First Alert Storm Tracker in danger here. We don't want anybody in danger. But I do need them to be very careful. They're getting close to the circulation.
Oh, my.
Okay, we've just confirmed that First Alert Storm Trackers are aware of where they are. They're in a dangerous part, and they're slowing down. We got to make sure do they have a reporter in First Alert Storm Tracker, you guys?
Robert ran, I believe.
Robert's there. I want to do some talk back with Robert when I can. You guys will just tell me in my ear. Just north of Hastings is this possible tornado now.
Back to the velocities, Mike.
Yeah, that velocity is impressive, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Very impressive. We've got a very strong circulation. I assume this is Jack's reflectivity.
Yes, it is.
Jacksonville. The circulation is crossing St. John's. It might be a water spout right now. That's classic setup in this kind of situation for a water spout. Crossing Highway 13 just north of Hastings, very near where the First Alert Storm Tracker is right now, as you can see over my shoulder on the right-hand side of the screen. That's I-95, top right, and a lot of traffic, very slow go. I would delay travel south on Interstate 95. Our 104.5 WOKV listeners, if you're in St. Johns County, we want you to stop traveling. Don't go any further. Let this storm move by before you get into a potentially serious and dangerous situation. That is a dangerous looking cell, Corey.
It sure is. This is the tightest circulation we've seen all day.
Right, look at
Not
that.
the fastest wind,
Right.
but this is the bright green next to the red. Not quite the bright red, but yeah,
Significant
this is
signature on
significant.
radar.
We don't have a tornado vortex signature. That's just
Right.
a fancy word for the radar thinking it's a tornado. We don't have that.
Right.
But
Yet.
but this is really close. So I'm going to cycle through a couple of these.
Right, that's a good idea.
This is Enrod.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, now let's take that. This is a tornado marker Corey.
Can we take this full?
Yeah, let's take this full.
Take this full.
This is a tornado marker right here, crossing the St. Johns River. I believe we have a water spout at least, maybe. Crossing the St. Johns River right now, just west-northwest of Armstrong. If you can put me back up on the screen here, I got to be able to point to this, you guys, in the control room, if you could. Thanks. Okay, this, I've seen this a handful of times here in Jacksonville in the last however many years, a lot of years. And when you see a presentation like this, this is the rotational velocities. We don't show this very much. It's weather talk. It's weather speak. But today it's critical. This is to help you figure out what's going on, help us. That, to me, I've only seen a few of these like this bright, and they usually have a tornado, more often than not. Probably 4 out of 5 times. Not much on. This is now what Corey has switched to is what we're looking for debris. We're looking for objects that are of different size in here, and when the tornado, if it's a tornado on the ground, it has a tendency to cause a lot of different colors to pop up. Blue in particular, but what we're concerned about, Corey, it doesn't appear to me to be debris.
Doesn't look like any debris that's lofted here. I'm going to go back to the INROT. We just got a new sweep. It doesn't look like this one's updated yet, but let's stay on this.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to update here in just a sec.
And while we are, and that's crossing, so it'll be this is Highway 207, I believe.
Yes.
Vermont, okay. So coming out of Vermont Heights to Armstrong is 207. So it's a little north and west of 207, a little north of Hastings, northwest of Elkton. And I understand, and there's the update, and that still looks powerful. And now I want to get to Robert, who's in the first.
It's cross State Road 13.
Okay, we have a new update on the tornado warning. It looks like it might include Lake City. The second storm, Corey. I've got Robert in the first alert storm tracker, is in this storm. Robert, can you tell me exactly where you are? Because I don't want you to get in too close to this. But where are you and what are you seeing?
Yeah, guys, we are on 13 right now, headed northbound, just passed through Riverdale area about 5 minutes ago, now towards Tokoy. I hope I'm saying that right. You can see that rain coming down pretty hard right now. I want to take a look, see if we can't get to the top of the first alert storm tracker here. We are taking it easy, trying to go slow, of course, to be careful driving and whatnot as well. You can see all that puddling on the side there just from the amount of rain that we've had here. And we have seen some debris on the roads, nothing too bad. Of course, a lot of people seem to be taking their time off the roads right now. Anyone that we have seen is going slow using their headlights, which is good, but you can kind of see just along the sides there. And I think I heard Mike also saying this is close to that area where there was that confirmed tornado just yesterday as well. So probably some debris from there. You see kind of looking over that driveway right there.
Robert, couple things here. I've got also a tornado moving into Lake City, but you're very near the tornado, Robert. I want you guys to stop moving.
Okay, we'll stop.
Stop moving. You're pointed north, so you'll see what's going on. And you can see them pulling over now, first alert storm tracker, but I got to keep you guys safe first and foremost, and I'm not comfortable you going any further north. There is not a lot of wind right now with where the first alert storm tracker is. So, Robert, thanks for your help here. Stay on this. We'll get you going north again in a few minutes when I'm confident that you're behind the tornado and not going into it. It's a few miles to your north, Robert, not very far away. Okay? So we're going to head you north on 13 in a minute. So a tornado warning remains in effect for St. Johns County, parts of Putnam, and southeastern Clay. If you're headed south on I-95, delay that trip. Or if you're listening on 104.5 WOKV, headed north out of Flagler County, just delay your trip 15 minutes. Pull over at a gas station, a rest stop somewhere. Let this storm pass the interstate. Meanwhile, tornado warning has been updated for Columbia County, includes Lake City. Folks in Lake City need to take shelter immediately for a dangerous storm, Corey, that is approaching from the southwest with a definite hook echo, a circulation, in other words. Corey moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour.
And Mike, like we've been talking, it looks like this is going to move just west of Lake City proper, downtown Lake City. It's been paralleling the state road here, 247. There's southwest of Lake City and west of I-75, but this is going to cross I-75 very near US 90. Basically, I'm pushing in here just so we can get some streets out to talk about where exactly this is going. But okay. US 90, there is Southwest Pine Mount Road. It is about to cross Southwest County Road 252B. That's very near I-75 and US 90. northwest Bascom Norris Drive. That's northwest of basically downtown Lake City, or the intersection of US 90, 41, and 441. This looks like a serious and dangerous storm, and there's the circulation too, which looks like it is north of US 90 and crossing I-75 right now.
Right, exactly, and would go a little west-northwest of Lake City, but
just
awfully
a little
close. And you've got to take your tornado precautions in Lake City.
This could take a turn at a moment's notice.
Sure, exactly. It could take a right-hand turn. It could move to the east. And we see that happen in some of our most severe cells. And this is a powerful storm. It looks like a hail core to its immediate north, Corey, which is how tornadic storms are structured typically. So if you hear large hail, then a loud roar, that's the tornado moving into your neighborhood. You have seconds to act. You have time, but not much time. And there's the hail core indeed. A little bit behind the hail marker typically, as it looks like it in this case, crossing Highway 90, which in Jacksonville's Beach Boulevard, of course, but then working west of Lake City here, and we'll move near and just west and northwest of Lake City. This is sort of a tornado alley in our viewing area, by the way, and these cells that come off the Gulf of Mexico and head to the north and northeast in a situation like this oftentimes do produce tornadoes. So this is a dangerous situation in Columbia County, just to the west and northwest of Lake City. For our 104.5 WOKV listeners, if you're headed west on Interstate 10, give it a break. Let that storm get by you in Columbia County, get on to the north of I-10 before you continue on your trip. Meanwhile, we still have a tornado warning that's on a storm that's potentially tornadic crossing the St. Johns River now. It is now east of Highway 13. So, Robert, in the First Alert Storm Tracker, it's pouring, as you can see right now. It's the bottom right-hand side of your corner of your screen. It's pouring, but the circulation is now moving east of Highway 13. So, Robert, you guys can progress northward now on Highway 13. Go ahead and start working your way north. See what you find. You're still going in the heavy rain, but you at least are safe to travel north again here now on Highway 13. And here's the circulation that is now passed a little bit east of Highway 13. This is that rotational signature that Corey was talking about. And
well, look at this, Mike. It actually, it kind of weakens here and goes away. This is a couple frames ago, and then it just kind of shrinks up there.
Right.
But
so if we had a tornado, it would have been as it came across the St. Johns River as a waterspout, which is not unusual. And then might have still been a tornado that crossed Highway 13. First Alert Storm Tracker is now progressing north on Highway 13, and we'll have a status report here shortly. It's pouring, but we'll see if they cross anywhere where there might have been some damage, because they're going to go right across this area. But they're safely behind the tornado. Otherwise, I wouldn't allow them. The
reflectivity is high there in the hook echo as well. So basically, just that finger that's on the screen there on the opposite side of Mike.
Right.
But there's that little bloom of purple there at the bottom,
right
Mike.
there. Yeah. What Corey's talking about when he says reflectivity, that's rain. It's just how hard it's raining. When you have reds and purples, it's calming down. A couple inches per hour. There's probably some hail mixed in with that as well. And then this is the wind on this side. So everybody in St. Johns County, central and southern St. Johns County, north of Highway 207. I'm not concerned about Highway 207. North of Highway 207, Highway 16 and I-95, the outlet malls, the World Golf Village, in all those neighborhoods in between, you need to be on alert for a possible tornado. Stay in the lowest part of the building that you are in, protecting your head and face, away from windows, stay out of automobiles, and get out of mobile homes. At the same time, we have a potentially tornadic storm moving just west of Lake City. And I understand we have, I believe it's the emergency manager with Columbia County online right now. Is that still true, producers? Okay, great. Great. Shane Morgan, Columbia County Emergency Director. Shane, can you tell us what you have there? We are watching on First Alert Doppler HD a very intense storm, possibly producing a tornado just west and northwest of Lake City. What are you getting reports on there?
So far, Mike, we've been lucky and not received any damage reports, but we have had a strong storm that's come through. I know here at my office, which is just a little bit west of I-75 off of US 90, it got real dark, but now it's lightened up a little bit. But right now we're seeing heavy rain. That's what's moving through at this time. Strong thunder rumbles and those kind of things.
Right.
But we're continuing to monitor the situation as it progresses this afternoon.
Okay, Shane, did you have any hail or wind as it came over your office?
Not that I caught.
Okay.
No.
It looks to me like the most intense part of that storm now is just a little north of you, probably, getting ready to cross Interstate 10 over just the next few minutes to the northwest of Lake City. Looks like our circulation is just a little northwest of Lake City. We'll cross 25A, Shane, and then move up toward 441 and Interstate 10. Just to the north and to the northwest of Lake City. But you have no reports of damage in the county, at least so far, right, Shane?
Right. So
Okay.
far, we haven't had any reports come into our dispatch center.
All right, Shane, I appreciate your time and hanging on the phone there for us, too. I know there was a few minutes before I finally got to you, but thank you, and we'll come back to you if we need to, if you guys do find out that there's any damage. And realize there are more storms on the way. It's not just this one that's moving through Lake City right now. Shane, thanks very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Everybody stay safe.
Thanks so much. All right, so twin tornado warnings are in effect right now. We also have severe thunderstorm warning encompassing the tornado warning that's in effect for St. Johns County. As expected, the storm is making it north to Nocatee. I would expect an extension on the severe thunderstorm warning any time now, I would think, for northern St. Johns and maybe even southeastern Duval County. Very heavy rains moving into Nocatee now, some lightning flashes, new cells popping up between Nocatee and Bayard. In fact, all the way to now, it looks like about Bay Meadows in southern Duval County. You can see there are some hit and miss scattered cells here. These could go severe at just about any time, given the air mass that we have today, the kind of setup that we have that is very volatile and capable of producing severe weather. We still have a hook, an appendage. It would be just a little east of the first alert storm tracker. We've lost the signal, or it's very much on and off right now, and my guess is that might be because of where they're located. And we have some thunder here at the station. It might be because of where they're located. They're probably having some internet issues would be my guess, but we'll get that shot back. There, it just came back. They are continuing north on Highway 13. It will be interrupted. It'll come on and off a little bit, so just be patient with us on First Alert Storm Tracker until they get to somewhere that's got a little bit better internet service as they're on the highway right now. A lot of lightning with that, what now looks kind of like an elongated circulation, Corey. And there's the updated severe thunderstorm warning. Doesn't look, did they move it north at all?
They did extend it. Ponte Vedra,
Okay,
Nocatee included in this, the southern tip of Jacksonville Beach, and southeast Duval.
Yeah, just as we expected. All right, nicely done here. Severe thunderstorm warning expanded northward all the way to just about Jack's Beach. And now covers much of central and northern St. Johns County. Possible high winds at the very least, maybe a tornado to form. We have still a circulation on the southern end. On the screen is the International Golf Parkway, and that's going to be a helpful look at the visibility, how low it is getting now on I-95 and International Golf Parkway. Just pouring, just a deluge in these storms. Meanwhile, the First Alert Storm Tracker has gotten out of the rain. They're on Highway 13, they're very near Piccolata, right on the east edge of the St. Johns River in St. Johns County. You can see a lot of pooling on the highways there. They've just had a tremendous downpour. We're not seeing any indications of any damage, but as they continue northward, they'll actually run back into this storm if they catch up to it. We'll see. But a lot of ponding of water. We're seeing that with these storms, a lot of rain. And we've had a lot of rain during the past week, so we're saturated. And you throw in this heavy rainfall now, and we may have some localized flooding today as these storms continue to race to the northeast. The lightning is a little east of that most intense part of that cell. Is K-Jax down, Corey? I don't have...
Doesn't look like it.
It looks like it's okay?
Looks like it's okay.
All right.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind, I actually just saw this on Twitter today, Mike, that the lightning is sometimes ahead of where you see the rain, with the radar beam coming in.
As the radar, right, exactly, as it bends, and depending on how far away the storm is from the radar site.
And it looks like we kind of got an update there. We still have that appendage. The wind, the wind not really showing us anything. We still have a little bit of, it looks a little contaminated there, at least to me.
Yeah.
But still, this is going to cross I-95 north of 207. Looks like I-95 is jam-packed, at least there at International Golf Parkway.
Yeah, with really low visibility with that heavy rain. First Alert Storm Tracker's got some tree branches down, I see now, as they are going a little north of Piccolata. Now it's just wet, but there were a few branches down a little earlier. There's a lot of old oak trees right here. There's some more. There you can see leaves, a lot of leaves on the
And there's
highway.
The river on the left.
Yep, river on the left. They're just right along the St. Johns River, and probably passing very near where we had that very strong circulation, Corey. You can see there's a lot of tree moss there on the road, some leaves, as I mentioned, some small twigs and limbs. Doesn't look like anything too serious at this point. We'll continue to see what they have there on First Alert Storm Tracker, but they're going to pass just about right where that strong circulation was evident. This is the same storm that has triggered the tornado warning, is right where First Alert Storm Tracker is right now. and continuing to track north to see if there's any damage in the storm, and also to get back into this storm as it moves through St. Johns County. Now, here's the storm that has prompted a tornado warning near Lake City, moving north-northeast bound. I'd be curious about the NROD on this, Corey. I realize it's out a ways, but it might be helpful. That's a hail icon there, pea-sized hail, so not particularly large in this case. At 4 o'clock, reported by the public in Lake City. If there's bigger hail, it would probably be a little bit to the north and west. All right, and now First Alert Storm Tracker has found some damage. We have a tree down here on Highway 13, and this is no surprise. Given what we saw on radar, I would expect to see more of this as they continue northbound. But this is a down tree on Highway 13 that has occurred as this storm moved through, and we'll likely see some more damage as they head northbound, perhaps on Highway 13. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side of your screen, this is the storm for which a tornado warning has been issued. It is now north of Lake City, and I would say Lake City is out of the woods, Corey, for this particular storm.
Yes, I would agree. It looks like it is about to cross I-10 as well. You see 5 points and Winfield there on the map.
Right.
Mike,
yeah,
there's the
right here.
And there's the wind on the right. You asked for the rotational velocity, and
there's some,
but it's come down. I'm going to show you the last few frames.
All right.
And you see right there, it's pretty bright.
So, yeah, we had quite a circulation there for a while, just west and northwest of Lake City. And then as Corey advances in time, you can see how the color goes away. It's just blue, an indication that the storm is probably weakening some. We have an update on a couple of warnings, it looks like, Corey, that have just come down. But anyway, the storm doesn't look quite as classic as it did before. It's still very intense, a lot of rain and probably some hail, but it looks a little more spread out, perhaps, Corey, as that storm moves to the north and northeast through Columbia County. Meanwhile, we continue to track severe thunderstorms moving through St. Johns County that extend west all the way to southern Clay, northern Putnam County. For our 104.5 WOKV radio listeners, we're carefully tracking a circulation just about due west or slightly south of due west of St. Augustine. There's an update on the tornado warning. And this tornadic cell will be crossing I-95 in just the next few minutes. So if you're headed north on I-95 out of Flagler County or into southern St. Johns County, stop traveling, just give yourself a break, pull off at an exit, and let the storm pass. If you're traveling southbound out of Jacksonville, give it a few minutes, let the storm move on by. This is a dangerous storm at just about I-95 and Highway 16, Corey.
And I'm going to change the First Alert Traffic Camera Network here, Mike, to... So we'll look here from State Road 16. That's going to go green there for just a sec. Traffic is really backed up here too. So, and you can see the dark cloud there too. Can we take that full and put it behind Mike?
Full. I'm curious. Yeah, let's put that behind me and take that full.
Traffic cam.
The traffic cam, right? I want to look at that. I want to look at that feature there.
The cloud's really dark there on the right, just the right half of the screen.
Interesting feature. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that carefully here. That's the outlet malls, I assume, in the distance right here where my finger is?
Yes.
That's the outlet malls, okay? You see how traffic is almost at a stop. Boy, it's a mess headed south on 95 into St. Johns County. If there's a tornado here, it's not far from right there, Corey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right on Mike.
It's very near Highway 16 and I-95, a little south of the road Gulf Village, barely.
Looks like it's going to pass between State Road 16 and 207.
Right.
Very near 214.
Yeah.
But not a good sight to see on the roads. We got a good view of the clouds.
I don't see any
area.
Power flashes, Corey.
Okay, looks like no power flashes.
That's a good thing.
Is good. I'm checking the traffic here, and it looks like that the bottlenecked lanes are northbound. So it looks like we're looking to the north here.
Oh, we're looking north. Okay.
So I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down I-95 to 207, maybe a mile marker in between. Yeah, that might be helpful.
Yeah, that might be good. Yeah.
So that'll get us really close to where exactly the circulation is. Regardless, dark clouds, a ton. There's a ton of lightning with this. Ton of lightning with it, Mike.
Yeah, there is a lot of lightning. Okay, and so it's going to switch to green here in just a second as Corey, there's nothing we can do about that, but it will give us another view.
That's 207, not a whole lot to see.
That's 207, so this would be the exit to Palaca, Elkton area. If you were to exit there, you'd go, and then if you went east, you'd go to the coast south of St. Augustine, very near Crescent Beach is Highway 207, actually a little north of Crescent Beach. distance. In the distance, there's obviously some pretty heavy rain. We don't have a camera between the two, I guess?
There are actually several. I'm looking for one by County Road 214. It looks like that's where the circulation is going to pass over. We're starting to get into the bottleneck traffic there. This is mile marker 314. I'm just going to kind of stair-step my way down.
Okay.
This is 313.
313. So now we're getting closer back. We're getting back closer to the Highway 16, to the outlet malls. In other words, Corey is progressing north. You can see the dark clouds.
It looks like we're looking northbound there into the traffic that is slowing.
Right.
And the dark clouds as well.
Right. Yep. That might be another one to keep a close eye on there.
Yeah.
But you can see how much traffic is, and probably just because it's raining so heavily, it's backed up would be my guess. But perhaps.
Okay, that was 312. Looks like it's not going to show.
Okay.
This is 311. Now we're close to 207. That one's stuck on the ground.
Yeah, pretty looking down quite a bit.
Back closer to State Road 16. This is mile marker 315. Kind of that similar view we just saw from State Road 16.
So for our radio listeners on 104.5 WOKV, stop travel in St. Johns County on I-95. Get off at a rest stop or exit with gas stations, businesses, whatever the case may be, and let the storm pass. Whenever a tornado warning is in effect, always the lowest part of the building that you're in, and there is one now for tornado warning for central St. Johns County. And stay away from windows, out of automobiles, and get out of mobile homes. This storm is crossing I-95 about right now. Let's go back to 5-sweep first alert Doppler HD, and there it is. There's Highway 16, and there's I-95, and boy, we've got another really strong
core
hail indicator, heavy rain. In fact, let's do and there's the hail. Hail has come up a little bit, at least in the indicator. And remember, that's going to be a little bit west of reality, which is now very near Highway 16 and I-95. Moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and track that possible tornado, Corey, as it moves across I-95 now. A little bit west of St. Augustine. We might want to point that St. Augustine Skycam north and northwest, Corey, also. But there's the storm, the tornadic portion of this storm, headed to the northeast into St. John's River State College and neighborhoods at 436. Casacola at 438, Northeast Florida Regional, St. Augustine Airport, in other words, at 439. That's just north of St. Augustine. And Usina Beach at about 443. Will also come ultimately very close to Volano Beach. This is radar indicated. It means there's a circulation there. Let's go down to street level mapping now, Corey. And let's start at the southern end of this storm where there's the possible tornado, and then we'll work our way northward. But we're on street level mapping now. And if you live on Adams Access Road, or if you're familiar with any of these streets, you need to take action. County Road 214, in other words, your tornado precautions. We also have
Carter Road.
Easy
there
for me
is
to see.
Usina
There's
Road.
Usina Road extension there. King Street, you're starting to get pretty close to obviously St. Augustine at this point, and then you cross the river and you're into St. Augustine. So this tornado, if there's a tornado, will go just west and northwest of St. Augustine. It would appear. It'll be very, very close. And then there's Volano Beach, which will eventually be under the influence of this storm too. And then we get to just the southern edge of the heavy rain when you get a little north on Highway 1 here at about the Lewis Speedway and a little north of there. Now you're starting to get into the heavy rain, but this whole area will have the potential for a tornado as that tornadic southern end of the storm moves eastbound now.
This is going to be near the airport, St. Augustine Airport.
This view right here. Yeah, on First Alert Doppler HD. So the very heavy rain is just north and west of the airport, moving up over the World Gulf Village is getting hammered now by rain and maybe some hail too. It will soon then cross Highway 1. It'll be up into Nocatee and other nearby neighborhoods. So be alert. Even though the tornado warning does not include, and it looks like we just got an update on the tornado warning court. Did they expand it north?
Till 4:45.
Till 4:45, and that tornado warning extends now as far north. Let's get rid of all the other stuff for just a moment, the rain and stuff, and we'll just look at these boxes and see where the red northern edge of that tornado warning is. And what they've done is they've continued to track the circulation, which is no surprise. So the northern edge of the tornado warning is South Ponte Vedra Beach. And then it crosses the intercoastal, so there's Palencia, so just
southern
south
edge
of
of
Palencia. I would take tornado precautions in Palencia. Again, you're talking less than a mile difference here. So If it happened to turn a little more north versus to the east, it'd be something to be concerned about. The tornado warning is south of the World Gulf Village, but the World Gulf Village is just getting hammered by rain right now. And then it extends southward to the outlet malls, and that gives you an idea of what we're looking at for the tornado warning and for our 104.5 WOKV viewers as well. Let's take a look at the circulation now. Corey, maybe we haven't shown the winds recently. So here's the tornado warning. The dangerous part of the storm literally is crossing Interstate 95 right now. And it's maybe tightened up a little bit more again.
Maybe just a little.
Yeah, it's still kind of spread out.
And it looks well to the east of I-95.
Yeah, it does look well east of I-95
Looks
now.
like it's halfway between US 1 and I-95, and there is a hail report.
No surprise, we were talking about the World Gulf Village. That's real close to the World Gulf Village, it looks like. A little south of there, maybe. Quarter and dime-sized hail at Wynwood Ranch. That's very near Bakersville, which was hit hard yesterday. 1-inch hail estimated, so that's pretty significant for here.
If you see some crazy weather, send us your pictures on Twitter, #FirstAlertWX, also on Facebook, Action News Jax. Of course, we want you to do it safely.
Yep.
Do not put yourself in danger to try to get a minute of fame on TV. It's more important to protect yourself and keep your life safe. But if you can safely take pictures, feel free to send them, and we're going to show some of them later on the news.
Right, and these continue to move. This continues to move east-northeast. People should be taking their tornado precautions in St. Augustine, and especially just north of St. Augustine, where you see all these lightning strikes. Volano Beach, right up to just south of Palencia, just south of the World Gulf Village, the most dangerous part of the storm. Now, those areas still get the heavy rain, maybe even some hail and gusty winds, high winds even. But the most dangerous part of the cell that might contain a tornado has now crossed Interstate 95. It is a little bit east of I-95, working across Highway 16 here soon in St. Johns County, just to the west and northwest of St. Augustine. It's going to be awfully close. Do we have Skycam? St. Augustine, Corey's going to get that up for us and look a little north.
Clouds are low and gray, Mike. We're kind of shrouded in some low clouds, and the rain hasn't moved over the Skycam yet. I'm gonna pull it up here. It is hard to see anything, and we're still kind of shrouded in this.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
This foggy pattern here.
Right, so it is going to be difficult to see it unless it gets close. So we'll continue to monitor this camera, St. Augustine First Alert Skycam Network, very carefully. And you can see other heavy storms are moving northward, so there's going to be more severe weather. And the tornadic cell in Columbia County is now safely north of Lake City. It's moving through northern Columbia County, very rural area. But if you live in northern Columbia County, be up to date, stay up to date. North of Interstate 10 now, circulation has weakened, but it's still evident as it moves through that tornado warning area in northern Columbia County. You might see this expanded to northwestern Baker County, a tornado warning perhaps, even Georgia. The cell of greater concern, which looks a little stronger and is closer to Jacksonville, is over St. Johns County. And our First Alert Storm Tracker is in this area too. Robert is our reporter at Highway 13 and just about Highway 16 now, Robert, right? You've passed at least one downed tree.
Yep, that's right. We're actually just turning back right now to head to 16, closer into St. Johns County and St. Augustine area. We did pass that one down tree. Also some small debris as well as we were headed northbound on 13, going right along the St. Johns River there. Definitely a lot of rain and some heavy rain at times here. You can see it kind of picking up right now, actually.
Yeah, and you can see the ditches are pretty full too. So if you live in a flood-prone area today, be alert and be ready, because these storms are also dumping a lot of rain on now what is saturated soil. So you're headed south on Highway 13, Robert. When you get to Highway 16, you're going to hang a left then and go east, correct?
That is correct, and we should be just about a minute or so away from 16, so we will hang a left there and start headed east.
Okay, so let's zoom in on where Robert is in the First Alert Storm Tracker, Corey, and where he is in association with the tornado, possible tornado. He's west of the tornado. So here's Highway 16 right here. He's come down on Highway 13, looks like
State Road 13 right there.
Yep, so he'll be hanging a left, and then we'll head into an area that's behind, he's behind the tornado, safely behind the tornado is my point.
May see some hail.
Might see some hail, but also we'll see if there's any damage that's being caused by this storm. The center of that core that may contain larger hail, and
Palencia,
1-inch hail, is
in
right,
South Ponte Vedra Beach.
Yeah, right into Palencia in South Ponte Vedra Beach. Really tremendous lightning show there, more than likely. A lot of thunder. High winds, hail, The tornadic cell, portion of the cell, is just south of there, though, crossing Lewis Speedway any minute now on Highway 16 and moving just northwest of St. Augustine. Awfully close. Technically, St. Augustine is in the tornado warning, and you should be taking tornado precautions. But even more dangerous area would be Volano Beach to the Lewis Speedway, north on Highway 1 to just south of Palencia. Awfully close. And then extending east. There's a lot of new neighborhoods in here, a lot of new developments in here, too. So there's a lot of homes that have been built that weren't there, say, 10, in some cases, as little as 5 years ago. Let's go down to street level mapping now, Corey, and track the tornado as it heads, a possible tornado, as it heads east-northeastbound, and you'll see the streets pop in. And if you see any of these streets, if you recognize them, if you live along them, you are in the path of this possible tornado. San Marco Avenue, for example, would be one of those. Is that
Fullerwood Drive. Fullerwood Drive, Douglas Avenue.
All right. Go ahead and just keep going.
Harbor Drive, Land's End Drive. Now we're getting over to Volano Beach.
Right,
I think that
here's Volano.
This is going to pass really close to if not just due north of Volano Beach, Mike.
Right.
So San Pelaya Court and then Ocean Hollow Lane. The lightning is kind of big here and blocking the view here. There's Palm Street, Pantano Drive on either sides of
Euclid
the
Avenue.
river. Euclid Avenue. There's Oak Street, Myrtle Street, A1A, South Beach Drive, Seagate Lane, South Ocean Grande Drive, North Ocean Grande Drive, and now we're up into Turtle Dunes Court, Turtle Bay Lane.
And now you're into heavy rain. You're talking
heavy rain.
Let's take a look at the rainfall rates in here. I bet we're getting some 2 and 3 inch per hour rainfall rates, if not greater, because they're being contaminated by hail. And what that means is the radar is so sensitive, but it
There's
can't.
a 19. That's definitely
Oh, that's
contaminated.
definitely hail. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but you got 2 inch per hour, 5 inch per hour, or a 19 inch per hour. It's not raining that. I mean, it's pouring, but that's hail. That's hail right there. There's a 5 1/4 per hour, 4 1/4 per hour. Man, is it coming down. And also likely some hail. Speaking of which, the First Alert Storm Tracker's back in some very heavy rain right now. And there's the hail core just south of the International Golf Parkway in the World Golf Village. Has just passed right over the outlet malls, and we're indicating bigger hail now than we were before.
About $half size.
Yeah, perhaps $half size. It's intensified some. It may be encountering the sea breeze here. So there may be a little extra wind shear now available for this storm, and that's why it may perhaps is producing even bigger hail. Okay, and I understand we do have some video in-house now of the hail, so we'll have that up for you in just a minute. So there's the circulation. We need people in St. Augustine, but especially to the immediate north of St. Augustine, Volano Beach along A1A and east of I-95 to be taking their tornado preparations seriously and immediately now. As this storm moves very near St. Augustine, I want to go right back into this hook, Corey, and because I'm concerned about people that live here on these streets and highways. If your street pops in, you need to take action. West San Carlos, that was Hibiscus Avenue. Is that
Pantano Drive, Myrtle Street. I'm going to go in tighter here because there are a lot of roads here.
There are a lot of roads. This is obviously a highly populated
Tesoro
area.
Terrace, Marilinda Drive, San Sebastian View, Lewis Speedway, where it curves around to US 1. Just one sec, Mike. I'm going to take the radar off so we can see. This is just south of the airport.
Right.
And just south of St. Augustine Airport.
Right. And so for viewers that have just joined us or on the radio, 104.5 WOKV, if you hear us say these streets are in the path of this possible tornado, the most dangerous part of the storm, certainly I would expect high winds and perhaps large hail, some power outages, some other streets here, Avenue D. That's D. Avenue D. Sartillo
Road. This is the, I don't know if it's the courthouse or the prison. What all do we have there?
Yeah, right on A1A.
Right on US 1. It's
our US 1 just north of St. Augustine.
Yes.
Yeah. Just north of St. Augustine, and then that's the area under the gun here, just north of St. Augustine, and then that would extend right up Highway 1 and A1A, both.
I'm going to go down here now in Volano and South Ponte Vedra Beach, Mike, with those streets, Myrtle Street.
Yeah. If you see these streets pop on, or you hear us say these streets, you are in the path of the most dangerous part of the storm. There's an update on the tornado warning, Corey. Go ahead and throw off. Go ahead and
yeah, this is a new tornado warning now.
Oh, it's a new one. It's been expanded north a little.
Almost all the way to Nocatee.
Yeah.
This looks like it does include part of Palencia as well.
It does include Palencia.
Looks like it's maybe taking a bit of a turn here.
Can you see if they've got ground verification? I haven't seen or heard of anything such as that, but
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing right now.
And if you see me looking at my watch, it's because I'm getting the warnings on my watch. You can get them on your app, First Alert Weather app. Download for free. It's a great day to do it.
This has a serious hook.
It does have a serious hook. So people in Volano Beach and just north of St. Augustine, as Corey was mentioning, the county facility, and I don't remember either if it's what kind of city facility that one is. Do you guys remember?
It's the county facility, the jail.
It is the jails there?
St. Johns County
Okay.
Jail.
All right. John's confirming that for us. John and Tanika standing by at the news desk. And that's where the most dangerous part of the storm is going now. This is going to miss St. Augustine just a tad bit to the north. We do have the First Alert Skycam network pointing to the north. You can see it on the right-hand side of your screen. And
Some ominous clouds there in downtown.
Yeah, there are some ominous clouds, but it's going to stay a little north of St. Augustine. If there's a tornado in it, we ought to get a darn good shot of it if there is one.
I'm turning the camera here right now.
We also have video of the hail. Where's the video from World Golf Village? So no surprise, as we expected. You can hear it and you can see it hitting the ground there. Looks like at least nickel-sized maybe hail. It's kind of hard to see, but boy, you can sure hear it. So that's the World Golf Village. There you can see some of it too. Hail there. That hail core has now is crossing Highway 1, moving into very near Volano Beach, Palencia. May just catch some of Nocatee on the south and east part of Nocatee, which now extends much further south than it did, say, just a few years ago. A lot of buildings south now. And so Nocatee should be aware of this storm at the very least. And anywhere south of there, from Palencia down to Volano Beach and areas in between, the most dangerous part of this storm is moving through now and has crossed Highway 1 and is crossing Highway A1A. So let's zoom on in. Let's put the wind on here, Corey. We haven't looked at the rotation. There it is. Just about on Volano Beach now. I think it's safe to say we're seeing just a lot of gray sky on our First Alert Skycam network from St. Augustine. First Alert Storm Tracker is in this storm as well. The very heavy rain that's on the bottom part of your on the right-hand side of your TV screen. If you're on the TV side, if you're on the radio side, the most dangerous part of the storm moving into or immediately north of Volano Beach. Are you looking at rotation?
Swapping over to it now,
Corey,
Mike.
all right, so Corey's going to the First Alert Storm Analyst now, and we're going to pop it up on the air here in a minute. It's a very handy tool for us to use when we are looking at storms that may be producing tornadoes, and that's why this tornado warning is in effect and has been extended northward even, almost to Nocatee. And are you seeing anything on the
Nothing. There's a little
rotational?
bit. I'm going to pop it up for you now.
So what we've done now, Corey has popped in, First Alert Storm Analyst. This is the most dangerous part of the storm. This is rain here over Volano Beach, heavy rain, hail just north and west of Volano Beach. And then you have what we call the rotation, for simpler terms, it's the rotational velocities. And it's not overly impressive compared to what we've seen a couple times this afternoon.
No, and that's slightly encouraging.
Right. It's not a perfect measure.
Right.
There still could be damage being done. It's just not as severe as what we've seen already this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. And I'm going to swap this over really quick to the debris, and it does look kind of
messy.
muddy and messy in there.
Right.
I'm going to take it back a few, just a few timestamps here, and
That's suspicious.
That is suspicious. That's an area away from the hook echo itself. Just displaced a little bit. Look at that. Look at that hail core.
Yeah,
though.
that's it. When you see white on radar like this, you guys, that's usually pretty big hail. So, and we've had confirmation of hail. It's ranged in size, but this is a big storm. It's an intense storm. The good news is it's headed offshore here in not too long a time.
Looks like the most intense part is, at least in terms of a potential tornado, that part has moved. It has cleared the coast.
Right.
South Ponte Vedra Beach. Getting pummeled right now, and potentially by as big as about quarter-sized hail.
Right, yeah, and then maybe some wind as well with these storms. We've had several reports of hail. You just saw the video from the World Golf Village. We now have pictures of large hail in Lake City. This is with another, that's pretty big hail, especially for Florida. So that's in Lake City. We just got that picture in. So these storms are also producing a good deal of hail, in addition, of course, to the wind and a possible tornado. So let's now widen the view a little bit. We've got the tornadic storm near Volano Beach, a hail core that extends north up Highway A1A right to South Ponte Vedra Beach. That ought to be some pretty big hail. Just a little south of Sawgrass, not by much, but a little bit south of Sawgrass would be the area of the most severe part of the storm. And it is heading offshore, the most severe part of the storm. There's still plenty of heavy rain and some lightning that extends west here through Nocatee and then into southern Duval County. But this is the most dangerous part of the storm, and I'm happy to say it's heading offshore now. So we'll likely see the tornado warning discontinued here relatively shortly, I would expect, unless we start to get another circulation, Corey.
Also, look at the traffic camera. It's much clearer,
Right.
not as dark. We still have the dark skies there and way off in the distance.
Yeah.
But,
and traffic's moving much
traffic
better
may
than
be
it was.
moving a little
John's
bit
got
better,
something
too.
to add.
I just got a text from somebody who lives a half-mile south of the St. Johns County Courthouse and says that it was crazy calm, but the temperature dropped 25 degrees.
Wow, okay.
That's a
And
great
this was,
observation.
as of about a minute and a half ago.
And that happens with these storms, so the cooler air gets pushed out. And that's interesting. Where that location would be, it masked radar. There's virtually no rain just south of the tornadic portion of this storm, which is not uncommon. So it sounds like they didn't even have any wind, but they did have the big temperature drop. No hail, okay. So he would have been a little south of the most intense part of that storm. Heavy storms extend west, though, as you can see here, through Fruit Cove and Green Cove Springs. This is mostly just heavy rain. There's some lightning in here, but I'm not seeing anything terribly suspicious here. But these could intensify more as they head up. These will move up over the metro area during the next hour. So expect some very heavy rain in Duval County, some lightning, and maybe an isolated severe storm, even though no warnings are in effect for Duval County right now. Those storms will pack up. In fact, the Buckman Bridge will be a good one in the control room, or if you want to switch it, Corey, the Buckman Bridge would be a good traffic cam right now. Because that's going to get a pretty good storm rolling in there. There you can see off in the distance as the rain moves in from the Buckman Bridge now as we switch the traffic camera. The tornadic portion of this storm, I'm almost ready to say safely offshore. It's real close, Corey. Not quite, but real close there, just north of Volano Beach and a little bit south of South Ponte Vedra Beach, it would look like to me.
Also interesting to see the stuff that's moving up the St. Johns River into Duval, almost moving due north,
Right.
the potentially tornadic part of the storm
Yes.
more to the east because, well, it's kind of rooted more in the air down at the ground. We call that surface base. That's
Warm,
another
humid air, yeah.
kind of meteorological term, and so it kind of takes a turn more to the right, or in this case to the east, whereas all the stuff moving up into Duval County is just kind of lifting up to the north. There's still some lightning with it, and it will be heavy rain in those dark skies that we're seeing. A quick update here. The tornado warning in Columbia County is over. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for Baker, Southern Ware, and Charlton County. Folkestone, heads up, you aren't in this warning right now, but this storm is headed your way. It has weakened significantly compared to the hail producer,
but still pretty intense. That southern end
for
bears
sure.
watching. The southern end still got a little edge to it there.
Yeah.
But that's the one that did produce the large hail in Lake City. So we're going to go out of warning mode here before long. That tornado warning will be allowed to expire and or canceled early will be my guess on that one as it heads offshore. And then we'll have severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect, and we'll go back to regular programming if that's the case. And sure enough, that looks to be safely offshore, Corey.
Yes, I would agree, Mike. Some of the rain just lingering back there, even some new lightning. You just saw that one pop on over South Ponte Vedra Beach, but very quickly, conditions are going to go back to calm.
Right.
After a lot of hail from the World Golf Village down to State Road 16 and all the way out to South Ponte Vedra Beach, and the great report from John Bachman's source of it being calm, but the really drastic temperature drop.
And it was probably 80 plus before the storm moved in because the southern parts of our viewing area warmed up a lot today, actually anywhere south of I-10. Let's widen the view here and just look at, kind of get an overall view. And you can see this is a 1-2 punch today. We've been talking about that. First, it's the afternoon storms that we're dealing with now. And by the way, look at the Buckman Bridge, how much it's raining there now versus when we switched the camera on the upper right-hand corner there of your screen. But very heavy rain now moving into Duval County. Once this batch of storms moves through, that should pretty much be it for a couple of hours, if not longer. We should have a nice little lull. It will be rather warm and breezy and rather humid, but this first area of heavy storms will lift to the north and northeast, and that's going to be all she wrote for this first area of storms. But then comes the next one, coming in through the Panhandle, where there have been a number of severe weather reports already this afternoon, and there are a number of warnings currently in effect. This is a developing squall line of storms. So you can see in between there's not much. You could get a nice isolated shower storm that pops. But for the most part, this is punch number 1, so to speak, moving through Jacksonville and northeastern Florida now. Then it'll be into southeastern Georgia. And looks like they've just updated that severe thunderstorm warning for northern Baker County. And then you'll have that break, and then the next batch comes through with the actual cold front, and that will be this evening generally from west to east between about 8:30 to about 11:30 in the evening, working from west to east across Jacksonville, northeastern Florida, and southeast Georgia. That's the cold front, though. And the good news is that cold front will move through late tonight into early tomorrow morning and finally shut down any severe weather threat and any heavy rain threat for about 24 to 36 hours.
We've got some Palencia hail video.
Okay, we have Palencia hail, right where we suspected, right, Corey?
Yeah, right
when
on.
we were looking at radar. So let's take a look at the Palencia video that we have. I can hear it. And those storms that produced that hail, there it is. Oh, there's the wind with this too. There's the hail. So that matched up very well with First Alert Doppler HD and our First Alert Storm Analyst that we were showing you. But that's also wind-driven hail. So again, pretty powerful storm rolling through Palencia. Fair amount of hail and wind.
There's a lot with that too. A lot of it is small, maybe some quarters in there, but a lot of stones.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. It's just quite a bit there coming down. Good coverage on the ground, and then Corey said some of them are a little bit larger. So our warnings that are currently in effect in our viewing area include the severe thunderstorm warning, northern Baker, southern Ware County, and just catching parts of Charlton County there. If this storm holds together, it would go just a little bit to the west of Folkestone. There's Folkestone, so it looks like that it'll be real close. It may actually get to Folkestone. We'll see and continue to track. Heavy rain is moving into Nassau County now. It will shortly cross the Florida-Georgia border, and then other heavy rain is moving up across the Buckman Bridge into southern Duval. These warnings are likely to be allowed to expire soon. In fact, Action News Jax begins here on CBS 47 and Fox 30 in just a few minutes, and I would think at this point the prudent thing to do would be just to continue up to the beginning of our newscast, and then if we don't have any new tornado warnings, we'll go over to news with John and Tanika, but of course updating you continually on this weather as it continues to move to the north and east through our area, and then we catch a little bit of a break for a few hours this evening before the squall line approaches later tonight. Corey, go ahead.
We've got First Alert Storm Tracker at State Road 16 and I-95.
Yep, exactly.
We're going to bring them back up north, I-95, getting in on some of this rain and thunder as it is moving into Duval County. Some good old-fashioned thunder and lightning now with some heavy rain in Duval. Spots that have received about a half a foot of rain the past week. It's rained now 6 to 7 days in a row in some neighborhoods, and yeah, I mean, we don't really need the rain right now,
We don't at this point, which is shocking considering 2 weeks ago it was so dry. And we are going to send, in the control room, if we could send First Alert Storm Tracker north on I-95. So we want to take them north from where they are now at the interchange there at Highway 16.
Looks like we have a new tornado warning for Baker County now.
Oh, we do. That's that southern end of the cell.
Yes.
I'll be darned. Okay. So tornado warning for our 104.5 WOKV listeners on radio. Tornado warning has been issued for northern Baker County. It's the same cell that has been producing severe weather through Columbia County and had a tornado warning earlier. It's that southern end, Corey, that does look suspicious, I must admit. This is going to be very near Taylor, I believe. If we zoom in even a little bit more, we'll get some of the towns to pop in. Highway 2, it's an otherwise highly rural area of northern Baker County here. There's Taylor. So just north and west of Taylor, the tornado warning. So it looks like this stays northwest of Taylor. It will also stay north of Baxter then too. But there's the circulation that's just tightened up in the last minute or two. Just literally within the last few minutes. We were saying how this storm had weakened about 10 minutes ago, and it had. But now it is re-intensified as it's moving into northern Baker County and has triggered, already had a severe thunderstorm warning in effect and has now prompted a tornado warning for northern Baker County. So now we need to get rid of this banner that says St. Johns County because that warning has expired, I believe, or will be canceled soon. Let's go with the tornado warning on the bottom of the screen for Baker County because this is the more significant storm. Headed into the Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge over the next few minutes, which obviously is highly rural. It's a bunch of trees and swamp, but it will be headed just north and northwest of Taylor, moving through a rural area, crossing Highway 2. The leading edge of the storm, which may contain some gusty winds, certainly you can see the heavy rain, will be into Silver Hill at 511, Davis Field at 514, Folkestone at 519, Cypress Siding at 525, and Newell at 527. Let's go ahead and track the circulation then, Corey. So we'll go, instead of tracking the leading edge of the storm there, now we'll go down to the actual tornado that's indicated by radar moving into northern Baker County. So Corey's going to track that to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, and the tornadic portion of this storm will move into Eddy at about 5:10, so in 11 minutes or so, and then crossing through the very unpopulated area of the Okefenokee Swamp. There are some homes there, but obviously not a whole lot of them, and a little bit west of Folkestone as that storm moves northeast quickly at about 45 miles per hour. If you're just joining us right now on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax, typically this would be the start of your 5 p.m. newscast, but today it's severe weather coverage. We'll get to some news, though, because I don't think we're going to have tornado warnings lasting through the entire next 2 hours, Lord forbid anyway, but this is the tornado warning, northern Baker County, and then heavy storms headed up through Duval County right now, and that's where the first alert storm tracker is headed.
St. John's warnings have been expired.
Okay,
tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, those are all gone.
Which is what we expected. So
the potentially tornadic storm moving offshore and looking interesting again, but
yeah,
we don't care about it.
It's wrapping up. Now it's a water spout. So
yeah.
It's moving offshore, moving away. But that's what Corey's talking about, is this cell here. This is the one that produced all the hail in St. Johns County, severe weather from Putnam all the way across St. Johns County. Now let's go ahead and track these heavy storms moving through Duval County. And again, I keep looking at my watch because I get warnings and updates on my watch, just like you can with your First Alert Weather app. I get it on my phone too. But download the First Alert Weather app for free, and you'll get updates and warnings as they are issued. And we are also live streaming on actionnewsjax.com to keep you updated with the storms and the movement. Here are the thunderstorms moving through Duval County now. Really just heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds and a lot of lightning. An inconvenience, no doubt, this time of day, the afternoon commute. But they don't appear at this point to be severe. Moving into downtown in 4 minutes, Atlantic Beach at 5:11, Ocean Way on the north side at 5:24, Pecan Park at 5:31, and Amelia Island at 5:39. We have a bunch of cameras we can look at. Let's take a look at traffic cam right now. We are, looks like we're jumping around a little bit. Pecan Park and I-95 right now, and here is where the storm is headed. It'll be pouring at this location shortly, but it's not yet. We're switching now around. That one's zoomed in at Collins and I-295. Let's take
Trying again at Collins, Mike. They're on the southwest beltway.
Some rain here.
Some rain here. I'll try I-95 on the south side.
It looks like we have a tornado warning update on that Baker County warning too, Corey. It's just been posted.
We have a report of golf ball size hail out of Lake City, that the arguably the most intense storm of the day, right. With that cell. So almost 2-inch diameter hail. That can certainly do some damage.
That's a report now?
That is a report from the National Weather Service.
Yeah, that's big hail. Big hail for here, anywhere. So let's take a look at the Buckman Bridge. Ought to be real wet too. That might be a good traffic camera. First Alert Storm Tracker is headed north on I-95 now toward Duval County. So First Alert Storm Tracker is looking, we got a suspicious looking cell underneath that banner, Corey, in northern St. John's. There's First Alert Storm Tracker looking toward the storms that we're tracking now into Duval County. So Storm Tracker will be back in the heavy rain. You see the spray from the vehicles. It's a mess traveling
We
today.
have pictures of the Lake City hail.
Okay, we have pictures of the Lake City hail.
And we showed some of it earlier.
We did show some earlier. Yeah, if they're the same pictures, yeah. If the individual is holding it in his hand.
A little bit of wind in this cell, Mike. This is north of 16. Right. Where it splits there with 16A approaching St. John's Parkway, where 9B runs into 210. Right. This isn't anything really tight yet. I'm going to zoom in on it, but
it's likely some gusty winds,
right?
But not seeing any kind of circulation or anything. But when I said it looks suspicious, yeah, right there, exactly. That's trying. It's trying. Yeah. That's the southern end of the line, and that's why I said to Corey, it looks. See that? Boy, I don't like the looks of it. I bet that thing wraps up in the next few minutes. We'll see.
Finger. We got to keep an eye on it.
We will have to keep an eye on this. There's no tornado warning in effect.
It's moving to Bayard.
Any circulation is still broad and likely elevated in the cloud, but we're going to want to keep a really close eye on that. I suspect that's going to try to do something here, and so let's track that. Let's track the leading edge and then the tail on it, Corey. So we'll track the leading, and keep in mind,
it's going to cross on 95 near 295.
Right. I'm tracking the leading edge of this storm. It's already pouring on the east beltway of 295. So we're going to repeat.
More rain.
We're going to repeat some areas. Yeah, it's more rain, in other words, and possibly a severe cell. Headed into Bayard in a minute. The Avenues Mall at 5:09, Bay Meadows at 5:12, St. John's Town Center at 5:18, Florida State College, the South Campus at 5:22. It'll also be very near UNF at that time, about 5:20 or so. So that's the leading edge of that strong storm. Now let's track that little appendage on the southern end of that. It's under the banner right now, Corey. There you go, northeast bound. Up again for some of these similar spots. There's not a tornado warning in effect, but this may contain some wind.
Some new lightning there by I-95.
Right, yeah, some fresh lightning with it. It's just a suspicious-looking cell. It may try to rotate, in other words. Creekside High School neighborhood in 4 minutes. Durban at 5:08. Baptist South at 5:15 along 295, or I-95 rather. Bayard at 5:16 in Atlantic Coast High School neighborhood at about 5:23, moving in other words into southern Duval County.
New lightning here, very near Action News Jack Studios. My First Alert weather app just went off.
Wow.
Lightning detected 1.6 miles away. It's this is the one right here.
And again, you can get that information by downloading your First Alert weather app for free. You'll get that information that Corey's just talking about. A lightning alert, how far away it is. And John?
I'm tweeting a picture here in a second of a friend just sent me from looking at that little
Finger.
the hook that you were just talking about, St. John's Parkway and 210.
Yes.
I've got some video. I'm going to tweet
Okay,
this
great.
in
He's
here
going
just
to
a
tweet that out.
second.
So in the newsroom, if we could
Grab John's Twitter.
grab that, Twitter video that John's. And also backed up on I-95 toward Duval County. First Alert Storm Tracker is not making any headway because it's a mess. So they probably won't reach that storm, but they're looking right at it, and they're in a good spot because it's, number one, it's safe, but they also have good picture. Does appear to be some kind of lowering there, Corey, where we were looking. So we'll have to watch that on First Alert Storm Tracker.
Right behind that
truck.
The tan truck there
Yeah.
on the back of the semi.
Yeah.
The cloud's a little dark and ominous. There is a bit of a backup near International Golf Parkway, so hopefully he's not in that long. And then again, by Sampson, we're getting a better view there.
And if you could put St. John's Town Center on traffic cam, that's got to be one that's got to be getting poured on right now. We also have video of hail. Look
Lake
at
City.
that feature on.
Can we
Storm.
take Storm Tracker full?
Yeah.
Take it full, put it behind Mike.
Let's take First Alert Storm Tracker full, if we can, please. And I want to point out a feature here that this is what we're looking at on First Alert Doppler HD is possible circulation. It's right there. This is pretty classic, and so we'll watch this to make sure that doesn't produce a tornado. But that's that circulation that Corey and I have been talking about.
And the cloud just above it, Mike, kind of how it looks like a plate. That makes it
Right.
look a little
Almost like a
more
spaceship.
organized, or like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah, an upside-down bowl almost.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It looks a little organized.
Yeah, so First Alert Storm Tracker, Robert is in the First Alert Storm Tracker. If you guys could just move, is that the top, I think that camera can be panned a little bit. If you could just look a little left of where you're pointed. Oh, that's going to be good. There you go. And now down, nicely done in the First Alert Storm Tracker. Well done, guys. Good job. All right, so we want to keep a lookout on this feature, right? Boy,
Yeah.
nicely done, you guys.
There we go.
Yep. This is not a tornado right now, but this is where we're seeing at least a modest circulation on First Alert
maybe a
Doppler
little finger
HD.
there, Mike.
Yeah, there might be a little finger.
And there's the
trying to come
heavy
down.
rain there on the left.
Left, right here, yeah. So what we
Heavy
have
rain.
here, you guys, this is really fascinating.
Great
for
shot.
this area. Very heavy rain right here. And then you have a possible circulation here, likely circulation actually, and then very heavy rain here. It's called the rear flank downdraft, I believe that would be, Corey.
RFD, yeah.
So we've got to carefully monitor. This storm's moving into Duval County now. So I want to go back. If you guys can just keep looking at that, pointing at that in First Alert Storm Tracker. And Robert, I may come to you live here in just a minute, but we really like your camera shot, and we really do need it. So we'll keep an eye on that. They're going to go underneath this overpass here in a second. And this is what he's looking at. This is what First Alert Storm Tracker is pointing to, is this southern end of this storm. And that's what we're concerned about that might try to produce a tornado. It doesn't appear to be right now, but boy, it's trying. Circulation is still there. It's not real strong. Appears to be mid-level, which is what we're seeing on First Alert Storm Tracker. We're not seeing a tornado, but it's trying to rotate.
Got some new lightning with it too,
Right,
so
it's intensifying.
maybe some signs of intensification there.
Yeah.
These storms can drop a tornado at any time.
Let's go ahead and track that appendage there, Corey, as it moves north-northeast. Again,
This is crossing 210 if it hasn't already,
right.
Mike.
It's crossing 210 west of I-95.
West of 95.
It'll move up across 9B and to the southeast beltway at 295 in the next few minutes. There's some lightning on our DOT cam. Into Durban right now. Patriot Oaks Academy School right now. Bayard at about 5:17, so it's crossing into Duval County at that point, and into Genevar Park at 5:17. That just needs to be carefully watched.
It's got that tail end too, Mike. Maybe a sign of the inflow, maybe trying to pick up just a little bit on the south end of that. The tail kind of looks like a shrimp tail almost.
Exactly. Yep, that's a good analogy. Let's double check NROT too, Corey, real quick on that cell. Again, we do have a tornado warning for northern Baker County in a highly rural area right now. I'm concentrating on the cell that might try to tornado as it moves into southern Duval, so that's why we're hanging on this cell so long.
We've got something. It's not big.
Okay, so we're going to switch over to our first alert storm analyst. Nicely done, Corey. Okay, and there it is. So this is about what I would expect to see on radar. So this is an area of enhanced rotation. It's likely mid-level. It's some wind. This is the rain on the left side, but this is how virtually all these cells have started out today, Corey. So we have to watch this carefully to try to go tornadic as it moves into Duval County. First alert storm tracker still has a good eye on it. Let's take the first alert storm tracker, if we could, here full. Really a nice look at this cell. And this is what we're talking about, this little lowering right in here, just north and west of I-95, and getting ready to cross into Duval County. The first alert storm tracker right on it right now. And this is the cell moving into Duval County that technically doesn't have a warning in effect right now, but it's trying to intensify and increase its rotation. So we'll carefully track this, and the storm tracker will be able to do just that too as it heads northward. Nothing like having eyes in the field right on that storm. That is quite a shot. Now, John Bachman tweeted out some video just a little while ago from St. Johns County, John?
Yes, along it's looking toward that finger you were talking about at St. John's Parkway.
Yeah. Similar kind of cloud. This was the first storm that prompted the tornado warning over central St. Johns County within the last hour or so, and that's that lowering. And you can see you don't see anything, a funnel of any sort coming down, but this is what we'd be tracking, this sort of thing, when you have tornado warnings that are in effect and storms like we're seeing today. We are still on 104.5 WOKV, by the way. We're tracking a tornado warning in northern Baker County in a highly rural area. Over northern Baker County, and also severe or potentially severe, certainly very heavy thunderstorms moving into Duval County that could try to become severe within the next few minutes, producing at least very heavy rain. You can see the reds in here indicating very heavy rainfall, and this is the cell that we're carefully tracking as it moves out of St. Johns County now at about I-95 and almost, that would be just north of the rest stop there on I-95 in St. Johns County and almost into Duval County, and that's where the first alert storm tracker is right now. And I can see the cloud. I don't see anything overly suspicious yet, but it is trying to rotate, and they're going to be passing right into that or very near that. They might stay a little behind it, the first alert storm tracker.
So, Mike, I want to point out an email we just got. Okay. This is from Laurie in Orange Park. Laurie says it's pouring. We lost satellite signal, lightning, and it is pouring. So, if you do ever lose your signal on television, we're on the apps. Make sure you have them downloaded on your phone. We got the alerts. You can pick what alerts you get, because I know we all get way too many notifications in this great world we live in. But you can still take us even if you lose power. And even a coworker mentioned that a couple weeks ago. Right. You can still get us. Obviously, we never want that to happen. It's hard for us to predict the loss of power, but there's still a capability for you to keep us. Even if you do,
and we're live streaming,
so you
online. Can also, if you lose your television signal, you can always
pop to the computer,
pop to actionnewsjax.com, and we're live streaming our wall-to-wall severe weather coverage this afternoon. And we do have another picture, by the way, from St. Augustine. This is near the airport. Again, no surprise, the hail here. There you can see it. Looks to be maybe a little bigger than dime-sized, nickel-sized hail, I suppose, maybe 3/4 inch.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah,
ish. So that was near the airport, St. Augustine Airport, just north, of course, of St. Augustine, right along A1A. All right, let's go back to that cell. It's moving into Duval County right now, and this is the storm that we're tracking, crossing 9B now. That probably is a pretty good traffic camera too, Corey. We have a couple on 9B. I-95 and 9B interchange here, and then we'll work its way right up I-95 and right up 9B to where it connects with 295 there on the Southeast Beltway. of 295. And now we have the traffic cameras. That I-95, what is that?
That is I-95 at 9B. It's pouring.
It is pouring. Yeah.
Pouring. This is a tiny cell.
Yeah, it's not
but
going to
it is
last long.
pouring.
Yeah, it's not going to last long.
And it's not going to last long. Great point.
But it really comes down. And my point is, it will weather conditions are rapidly changing today. You may be fine traveling, and all of a sudden it's just blinding rain. And I'm seeing now, First Alert Storm Tracker, which is on the bottom on your right-hand side of the screen here, that is just south of that cell, so it's just coming into that cell, and they're
coming up on 210.
So you can see off in the distance the heavy rain there. So they're just coming up on the cell, and you can see all the brake lights now on the vehicles.
Should they turn east on 210, Mike?
I'd have to look at radar. Let's see. I don't think you want to go east on 210 yet. I don't know. That's a good question. Robert, let's go ahead and bring Robert in here on the First Alert Storm Tracker. Robert, we're following your shot here quickly because you guys are heading toward a very intense storm that's moving into Duval County, and because of the traffic, you may never actually get in the cell, which is not a bad thing, but you've got a great shot from it, from the First Alert Storm Tracker. And I think what we want you to do, Robert, is go to I-95 and 9B and take 9B north. Robert, is what we want you guys to do. And Robert, I assume...
Okay, 90 north, that sounds good.
Yeah, please. And then, Robert, I assume the traffic braking in front of you is because they're running into that heavy rain, huh?
Yeah, and I can kind of see it up ahead. You know, it's a little misty right now, but you can see those brake lights ahead, I think showing people starting to slow down a little bit as we head a little bit closer into that storm. And even actually right now, you can see on the windshield that rain starting to come down a little bit harder just right now.
Okay, and then what we want to watch here carefully on Robert's shot, on the First Alert Storm Tracker shot, this is a really good angle here, and they're passing 210 now. That's Ponte Vedra exit, Green Cove Springs. You go west, Green Cove Springs, you go east, you head toward the beaches. So that's the 210 exit. They're going to continue on 95 north to 9B and then go north on 9B. But Corey's pointed out right up in here, there's that dark lowering of the cloud right there. And that's the circulation that we're watching. Actually, if you guys could, Robert, move your camera a little bit to the right from where you have it pointed now, would give us a really good shot here as you come to the top of this overpass of this lowering to the right, or darker cloud. There it is. And that's what we're interested in right there. You're right on it. Right there. There you go. Well done. Good job. And you can see that's the circulation that we're carefully watching. If this is going to try to produce a tornado, this is the portion of the storm that's going to produce it. And First Alert Storm Tracker all over it today. I mean, remarkable coverage, you guys. You guys have been doing yeoman's work there in the First Alert Storm Tracker. They were on a tornadic storm that was crossing the St. Johns River first from Putnam into St. Johns County, at least one down tree. They're now on a storm that's moving into Duval County that's very intense, technically does not have a warning in effect, but it's this storm that the First Alert Storm Tracker is tailing now. And the southern end of it is what we're carefully watching for it to try, as it tries to rotate and produce circulation. Hasn't quite gotten the job done. Let's put the wind on there, Corey, and see what we have. And still, it's a broad, fairly weak circulation.
Nothing really tight. The wind isn't really bright. Nothing organized, at least right now. We have a great view of it there on the First Alert Storm Tracker. Still looks pretty high based,
right,
Mike. The base of the cloud is still pretty high up, relatively speaking, in the atmosphere. But you want that cloud to get lower,
or you don't want it to get lower.
Or you don't want it to get lower,
because then you have a tornado.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's Corey's saying that's what we're looking for on radar. That's what we're looking for on the shot on First Alert Storm Tracker, looking toward that lowering there, and they're right on it. If this thing is going to do anything, First Alert Storm Tracker's right on it.
There's a little bit of scud cloud there. They had it in the shot before they turned it. Would be interesting to see if that is actually rising up, or if it is if it's being pushed away from the storm.
Yeah, and what Corey's talking about when you say a scud cloud, it's just simply a low-level cloud. That's
sometimes they look like tornadoes. Or funnel clouds.
Yeah, they can. They get mistaken for funnel clouds and tornadoes a lot. But that's the weak circulation now working just north of Timberland Forest Drive,
just north of Nocatee.
Yeah, just north of Nocatee, a little northeast of Bayard, a little east of 9B. Would be in some very heavy rain now, and then that storm is headed right up, and I do have a report here. Oh, wow, this is a tweet that I received from Trey looking west from the north end of Nocatee at 517.
Great picture.
And okay, they're going to get the picture for me, but
it's on there.
Nice
I
work.
just retweeted it.
Nice work, Trey. That's a good picture.
First Alert meteorologist Garrett Beadenball, also with some video on his Twitter as well, Control Room.
Okay. And so what that picture is going to show us is this is Trey's picture that we were telling you about, and you can see the striations in the cloud. And again, we're tweeting these out. This is at Mike First Alert, and John's got his Twitter going, Corey's got his, Garrett's got his going, and Alyssa will have hers going too. You can see the storm in the distance there. That's the one it's not severe by definition. It doesn't have a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning in effect, but boy, it's trying, Corey.
Garrett has a great picture. Garrett has a great picture.
Garrett's going to show. We're going to have Garrett's picture up here in just a minute. But this is the storm now as it moves northeast. That's potentially dangerous, though technically doesn't have a severe thunderstorm.
Not a ton
warning.
of lightning with this now, Mike. Sorry to interrupt,
Right.
but we have that strike that's up by the East Beltway. Okay, there's a new one up there that's closer to JTB, and there's another one. They're basically just due west of Ponte Vedra, kind of out there in the big blank area of Duval and St. John's. But
Right. It's headed for Jack's Beach, more or less, really, in the area between 295 and Jack's Beach. So Corey mentioned Butler Boulevard, then it would be Beach Boulevard, Atlantic Boulevard, as far north as Atlantic Beach. That intense storm now moving through southeastern Duval and the very western and northwestern edge of St. Johns County. Here's Garrett's picture, Garrett Bedenbaugh. Who's probably getting close to bedtime, considering what time he comes in the morning. So we appreciate your work, Garrett. This is the storm. Yeah, this is classic shelf cloud and maybe an attempt at a lowering there.
and the heavy rain in the middle.
And certainly, very heavy rain down in here, and an attempt at maybe a circulation or at least a lowering right there. And that's why we're so carefully tracking this storm. Nice shot there, looking west-northwest from Nocatee, off in the distance, quite a ways away, but still very telling picture there. Let's go back to radar. Here's the storm moving north-northeast bound through southeast Duval, headed for Jack's Beach. We'll want to watch that Jack's Beach First Alert Skycam as well. And now let's go back to Baker County, because we haven't mentioned Baker County for a while. But there is technically still a tornado warning in effect.
The storm has moved out of the warning.
The cell has exited that warning. So then there's the new one. That's no surprise. There's a severe thunderstorm warning issued. There's a tornado warning for all intents and purposes. It doesn't exist anymore, I would say. They haven't officially canceled that, Corey, I guess, but they will soon. So severe thunderstorm warning now for eastern Ware, western portions of Charlton County. Again, really unpopulated area here. It's mostly swamp. Good part of it's the Okefenokee Swamp. That intense storm racing to the northeast actually won't be too long, and they'll either have to extend the warning or they'll just let it expire. But that's going to be out of the warning in no time. It's just racing northeast bound. Looks like it will go very near Folkestone, maybe to the immediate west of Folkestone, that intense thunderstorm. That's the only warning in effect now, Corey. So we'll go ahead and go back to regular programming, our newscast here in just a minute with a wider view. Let's just put this all together for you in kind of a summary, and then I'll be back, and Corey will be back with your full First Alert forecast in just a little bit. But we've had several severe storms moving northeast bound. This is the first round that we're going to have this afternoon and evening. Heavy storms moving through Metro Jacksonville now, some lightning, gusty winds, very heavy rainfall. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Charlton and Ware County in Georgia, just west and southwest of Folkestone. That storm racing to the northeast. And then well to the west, we have a squall line of thunderstorms. So once we get through these storms that are over us now, there'll be a bit of a break. And then a squall line of storms is going to roll toward the east into the northeast, and we'll see yet another round of severe weather. And I just was told now we get to cover the next 8 minutes, Corey. So at 5:30 straight up, we'll start your CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax newscast. In the meantime, they can have another little rest over there. Helping me out, though, on Twitter and on Facebook and whatnot. And I meant that in a kind way, Tanika.
You guys are doing hard work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do need to wet the whistle. That's a good idea. So we have two main clusters of storms, one moving through northeastern portions of Florida now, Nassau, Duval County, very heavy rain, some lightning and thunder, some gusty winds, a potentially severe storm just west and southwest of Folkestone. There are a few cells that have popped to the south, but they don't look particularly strong right now over Clay County. And then we have that break. Let's take a look at the distance arrow there, Corey, between, say, Jacksonville and that squall line of storms, and we can tell you how many miles it is between the storms.
And it's not moving west to east.
Exactly. Good point. So it's 100 miles away from downtown Jacksonville, and Corey's point is, and well taken, the individual cells are racing north-northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour, while the whole line moves east much slower at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it's not as easy as simply saying, okay, it's moving at 40 miles per hour, it's 93 miles away, it's 2.5 hours away, then say, for example, 2 hours, 15 minutes at that speed. It's not going to be quite that cut and dry, because you have the movement north-northeast while the whole thing shifts eastbound. And these are impressive storms, Corey, coming in out of the Gulf here. These are severe, no doubt. They have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect.
A lot of lightning and even some wind reports with that. You can see the little blue icons here over Tallahassee.
Right.
The tornado watch. Haven't talked about that for a while, Mike. We have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. and also a tornado watch for the Florida Panhandle until 7. So we're a little bit closer to that, but the threat area is basically leaving Tallahassee in the Florida Panhandle and moving into approaching I-75, the spine of Florida, southern and southeastern Georgia. And then it's going to move into our area where we have the tornado watch until 10.
Yeah, remember the watch is in effect until 10 o'clock and may even go a little later than that. The severe threat watch means conditions are favorable. Just got a text from John, good friend, who missed Judge Judy this afternoon. So on behalf of all of our viewers that were looking for Judge Judy, it just isn't going to happen this afternoon. When we have tornado warnings in effect, we will go on until the warning is either canceled or there is no longer any danger to our viewers. So we have the watch in effect now, means conditions are favorable across Jacksonville, northeast Florida, and southeast Georgia. We'll catch that little bit of a break here between roughly 6 and 8 p.m. And then the next band of severe storms approaches from the west. I understand we have video from the World Gulf Village of these storms as they did move through. That's the cell now that is offshore that produced a lot of severe weather.
Tornado warning for Baker canceled.
Okay, and the tornado warning is officially canceled for Baker County, as we expected, because it has moved north of the border. This is the, oh, look at that, Corey, the time lapse out of Baker County, and those clouds are moving straight up. That's
rising motion.
World Gulf Village, I'm sorry, it was the World Gulf Village. A lot of updraft, I would call this.
And that scud cloud.
And that is the scud cloud that Corey had mentioned earlier that you see sometimes that does get mistaken for a tornado. I mean, you can see it stretches from the base. It looks like it touches the ground. I would say that that's what it is a scud cloud, not a tornado in this instance. But it does indicate a lot of motion in the storm, a lot of energy in the atmosphere like we have today, and it's one of the reasons we have severe weather. So we have one cluster of storms moving through now, and we'll continue on the I-95 corridor for another hour or so, potential for any of these to become briefly severe. Then a break, and then the squall line moves in later this evening from west to east with another round of potential severe weather and localized flooding after all the heavy rain that we've had recently. So for now, from CBS 47 and Fox 30, we'll go to a commercial break, and then we'll come back with your 5:30 p.m. newscast at the top with Tanika and John, but of course a weather update as well from the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center.
And Mike, we have a lot of news still coming up.